Hey everybody, Chase here. I just wanted to give you all a heads up that we lost some of the audio from this episode, so you're going to see a jump cut around 24 minutes and 13 seconds in. So if you see it all of a sudden kind of jarring conversation, that's why I cut some of that audio out. But yeah, just wanted to give you a heads up and enjoy the show. Hey everybody, it is Saturday, April Fools, motherfuckers. I swore within the first minute. We're gonna get demonetized. Oh well. So it's Saturday, April 1st, 2023, and you are listening to Black Box Signal, a podcast on this internet box thing about video games. I'm your host, Chase Johnson, as usual, and joined by the quarterback, because I couldn't be a fucking quarterback. So we'll call you the quarterback of this podcast. I don't watch football. I don't know what I'm saying. But he's still here. Brandon Gaston. What's going on?
What's up, everybody? I was more of a lineman than a quarterback, man.
I was didn't play football, didn't do any sports guy. I did karate for a little while and then I skated, but that was about it.
Yeah, I gave up for a while. Junior high, nope. I wrestled in high school too, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say you were a big wrestler, but which my dad always wanted me to get into wrestling, but
it's fun. It's a challenge sport. It's a lot more physical than people think it is.
Oh yeah. Just like professional wrestling. No. Sorry, you know.
Hey, that's still physical though.
No, yeah, definitely. It's just, predetermined. Sorry, I got wrestling on the brain. It's WrestleMania weekend, y'all. So I'm gonna try not to be on a wrestling tangent. But
a wrestling tangent.
It's at the front of my brain.
Look, we are just discussing the LWO, man. Like this is gonna be epic.
Yeah. If it's not just like a one night thing, because I don't know, sometimes they'll just do that for like a night and then they'll never talk about it again. Because
either way, it's still gonna be cool.
El Phantasma is already like its own group, so like, but yeah, I mean, even if it's just for like WrestleMania weekend, that's kind of cool. Like a good like paying tribute to Eddie, because that's what they're always trying to do is pay tribute to Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah,
but yeah, we'll have to see. Fucking wrestling. It's really sad that like WWE right now is probably like the best it's been in like so long. Like with Vince not being involved with creative, because I mean there's all that going around that he's back behind the scenes, but it seems that with Triple H and Shawn Michaels in charge of the creative process, like it's just so much better. It's such a better product. Like
yeah,
between that and them having some form of competition with AEW, that's cool that it's better in wrestling. My son is like seconds away from crawling. So you have that like double take moment of like, oh my god, he's crawling, and then oh my god, he's fucking crawling, and you start looking around and you're like, shit, I gotta pick that up, I gotta pick that up. There's like so much stuff that I'm like, we're not ready for him to be crawling. Like,
man, you know what, neither of my kids really. Eli didn't crawl at all. He just kind of like rolled over and then was like, all right, well, this is for the birds, I'm just gonna walk.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll walk pretty quickly too, but like he just like started figuring it out. Like he still can't fully roll over. He still can't like fully roll over onto his back, but like after he rolls onto his stomach, but like he's figured out how to like do a couple shimmies forward and spin on his belly, and I'm just like, oh no. Oh yay, oh no. Like at the same time. But yeah, so
that's exciting, man.
It's something. So what have you been getting into this week on the games front? I know we both been a little busy, but
so played some Gauntlet over the weekend with a buddy of mine, and I've been really digging that. Like Gauntlet's an older game, but this is like the newest version, I want to say, something like that. Anyways, it's been a lot of fun. It's one of those just mindless hack 'em up, beat 'em up kind of things, but it's pretty cool. I enjoy it. Reminds me of the old good old days over at Slick's house. So I appreciate it for what it is. And my son has been on a Hollow Knight kick, so he got me back into playing that again. So we've been doing a lot of that, and he's like trying to like compete with me, like, well, I did this or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, but I already did all that. Like, I've already done all that, kid.
Right. Yeah. Been there, done that.
It's
Got a
funny.
T-shirt.
Yeah, he's trying to do the little muscle flex on me or something like that.
Right. Right. Um. So, and then you've said you also been getting into Hollow Knight, but then Resident Evil, more Resident
Oh
Evil
yeah,
stuff.
we played. So I did play some more of that. I've been enjoying that a lot. Um, we got to the part where like basically you get separated from Ashley because the Las Plagas or whatever that gets injected into you guys like takes over her. So you're separated for a long period of time. And we just got to the part where we just got her back, and that's where I stopped at. But we got to do the dungeon section in the castle with the I don't know if you remember, but like the big the blind guys that have the big blades on their hands, but they can't see. I had to do that section, and that was gnarly. Like, even you reloading your weapon, they would hear that and turn and like start barreling towards you. And I'm like, wow, they went all in on this. They're still pretty easy to kill, though, by the way, if you just know how to lure them to run right past you, and then you just shoot them in the back with the shotgun.
Right. Right.
Upgraded some weapons, things like that. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm still gonna continue hammering away at that, I think.
Yeah. Do you got anything else? Didn't you? You were kind of talking about this a while back, and then you kind of went and didn't get it because you ended up getting Resident Evil. But now you're thinking about it again. Are you still thinking about picking up Dead Space? We were kind of talking about that off mic. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I definitely still want to pick it up and play it because Dead Space, I've loved it for a really, really, really long time since day one on the Xbox there. 360?
yeah, that was the 360. That
Right, 360.
360
Yeah.
slash
So,
PS3.
so yeah, definitely something to look forward to. Probably once I beat Resident Evil, I'll pick it up.
Okay.
Because like I said, I want to check that out for sure because that got freaking damn near perfect scores also. So
Yeah. I usually don't put too much stock
two,
into scores. You know how I am, but
right. But I mean, you're talking two
I'm
classic,
a cynical asshole. That's what it comes down to.
two critically acclaimed horror games in their own rights. You know what I mean? So them doing remakes and doing the remakes justice, like slam dunk. Good for you.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean it's gonna help. Fund Capcom to do whatever they're gonna do next, like which is probably gonna be 5.
Yeah,
5 and 9. Those are kind of the next two I see on the docket. But I haven't been playing too much. I've been just playing more Like a Dragon Ishin off stream because I can't seem to get a stream in ever anymore. But just playing more of that. Just got I think last time I got promoted to captain. This past time I didn't play too much more, but I ran my first mission as a captain. I got my Kenny Omega, so that's cool. Yeah.
Kenny Omega.
There's Kenny Omega in that game.
Random.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just in 1800 Japan, but whatever, I think he's just like an attack, like gives you like a bonus, but still, I'll take it. Yeah. So
you do the one wing angel. That's what it is. It's a special move.
I wish, or like a V trigger. The V trigger would be sweet. Just run up and just hit a beautiful flying knee. Yeah, not too much more to report on that. I'm hoping to get into more of that again this week. Yeah, other than that, I mean, I don't got a whole lot. Do you got anything else? I mean,
not really. Oh, so the reason we're doing this, I guess we should tell people, is because I've got Easter tomorrow because my kids will be at their mom's on actual Easter, so we're doing Easter this weekend. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. So I'm
so
pretty
it's
excited
Brandon's
for
fault.
that.
So if you want to yell at
Yeah,
Brandon,
blame me.
you get him at you'll get his on Twitter, and you can even put him in the PO box. Just no, but
Look,
we try to be flexible around here.
I got penalized for it. I told you I had to chop up a bunch of onions anyways. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and let's face it, next weekend with it being actual Easter, we're probably gonna have to do the same thing. So,
yeah,
at least with my family, because yeah, we're going to my grandmother's. 'Cause she's getting older, and definitely want to do something.
your grandma on your mom's side or dad's side?
My dad's side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Grandma on my mom's side still lives out of state.
Oh, okay.
But enough that with my family tree. I guess we could just go ahead and get into the news.
Yeah.
I don't got much more.
Let's see what we got today.
Well, this one was it was an evolving story, let's say. We'll start with the IGN article that was posted earlier in the week on the 27th. Ubisoft pulls out of E3 after previously committing to the show.
Yeah.
Don't need to say much more than that, but other than it was just, I remember a while back we talked about Yves Guillemot saying that, if there's an E3, we'll be there. And then now it's like, except we won't be.
Except for there's not going to be an E3. Yeah.
They said they're still going to have their own event, but they're not going to be at actual E3. And I'm just going to
Hey,
keep
what you do?
Yeah, I'm just going to keep going down the list with these because it all ties together. Shortly after that, this comes from gamesindustry.biz, and it was published on March 28th. So the next day, Sega and Tencent announced that they weren't going to be at E3. So if we're keeping track, since we started this podcast, it was Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, now Ubisoft, now Sega, now Tencent. Tencent's huge. All pulled out of E3. If Microsoft is pulled out of E3, you have to assume then that there's no Bethesda, or possibly even no Activision.
Yeah, they ain't nothing.
EA has their own event that they do right around the same time. Everybody's, well, we're gonna get to it. So after that, I was like thinking, well, man, this shit's falling apart real fucking fast.
Yeah.
So so these are my third story was official. Made official the 30th, E3 has officially been canceled. It was just funny watching my note change throughout the week. It started with E3 possibly canceled, and then it was like, oh no, E3 is this comes from The Verge. E3 is officially canceled.
Yeah, I saw that fold on Twitter, and I was just like, oh man, keeps going from bad to worse.
So, they weren't selling tickets yet, I don't think. So that's a plus. But oh man, bad. That's all I could really think of is this is probably I think it's probably it for E3. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is what put a nail in the coffin at this point. But I don't know. I mean, it could change next year. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, but they haven't had a normal E3 since 2019. Like,
I mean,
it's been slow, and even before then, it was slowly dying. Like, because you have all these different other like you got GDC, which we'll talk about in another story. We've got Tokyo Game Show. We've got the Video Game Awards. We've got all the different PAX conventions. So it's like E3 was already kind of like starting to struggle out there, and then like I feel like not to say the cliche, but like COVID probably really just accelerated that even faster.
Didn't PAX just go on? Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure that just happened.
Yeah, they have a few different ones throughout the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like between all the different ones, and I know I'm probably forgetting more. Uh, Gamescom in Germany. That or is it in Germany or is it in France? I don't know. But there's that. There's so my point is there's so many events throughout the year, let alone like Nintendo just is like we're not gonna go to anybody. We'll just drop a direct. Or
Right.
or
Ballsy
and
of them.
or like that's what PlayStation's been doing that same thing too lately. The state of plays and
Yeah.
Xbox has been doing it themselves too. Everybody's figuring out instead of spending the money to rent out the space, we could just save all that money and you know
Do yeah.
yeah. Oh, you're breaking up. Oh, there you go. But yeah. So
New equipment. Sorry, people.
yeah. Um, but yeah. So no E3 big since 2019. And it was originally
I think
scheduled for
it's
the
gone.
13th. It was originally scheduled for the June 13th to the 16th. But with nobody being there, there's no point to be there. So
Yeah. Ghost Town.
yep. Next story comes also from The Verge. The Multiverse's open beta is shutting down, but the game is set to return in 2024. If you don't know what Multiverses was, a couple of people that I know play. I played a little bit of it. It was the WB focused like Smash Bros clone. So
Oh
you
yeah.
played it. Yeah,
I had some friends that played it. Yeah. Yeah. You
yeah,
could play as Shaggy from Scooby Doo and shit.
yeah. And you can play as like some Game of Thrones characters,
Yeah.
Batman. Like there's just a
Yep.
bunch of but it was in beta for I want to say a little less than a year. And then like the player count really plummeted. Uh, and so that's my guess why they probably. I mean, they did say it was a beta, but at the same time, they called Fortnite a beta forever, and then
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. This
yeah,
is just the beta.
yeah. So think they wanted to see how well it did, and then like when it's like plummeting, really bad on Steam and on everything, like as far as having concurrent players, you can't really support those servers. So, um,
Right.
I don't know. What do you think about that? I didn't play. I played a little bit of that game, but I didn't play as much as I wanted to. Then the thing was it played pretty well, all things
I
considered.
I didn't play a whole lot of it, but I watched my friends play a lot of it at like D&D night and stuff. It looked pretty fun. I mean, it's a Smash Bros clone, so I mean, Smash Bros is fun anyways.
And it's a good Smash Bros clone. That's the thing. That
Yeah.
was the thing that everybody was like latched on about. It was like, oh, this is actually like the first one of these clones that actually plays as good as a Smash Bros.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
next story kind of comes from Polygon, but kind of comes from everywhere. Zelda dropped or they dropped the big Tears of the Kingdom update. Um, focusing a lot on like different mechanics that they're gonna add into the game. Um, I kind of scrubbed through the trailer real quick because I didn't have time to actually watch it this week. I'm a terrible podcast host. I'm sorry. Um, but it looks like they're adding like more mechanics to allow you to like fuse objects together and fuse like like things to weapons. That was like the big thing that I
That's how
saw.
you can repair weapons too, is by fusing weapons into them.
Yeah, so it kind of got rid of a little bit of the durability thing. I saw a thing where like you could attach like an eyeball to an arrow and it becomes like a seeking arrow, like a homing arrow because there's an eyeball on it. Um, and then I saw like you could of course like use it to like create like the raft and like like
Right.
fuse objects together. So the only other one that I saw that was kind of game breaking is there was one that can like teleport you through a roof of anywhere. Is what it looked like. So like you could just go up and like clip through things. I didn't it that seemed super game breaking. But I don't know, we'll have to I guess see it in action. But that one seemed
Could
kind of weird.
create interesting skips, I would assume.
I could see
That's
that
what
being
that
as
sounds
people
like
who
to
didn't
me.
like the climbing either. Like, cause I didn't really like the climbing that much.
No, I didn't either.
So maybe it's like they added the weapon fusion to get rid of the durability, but not really. So they kept it for the people that liked it, but basically have a workaround for people who didn't like it. And then the same
Mhm.
thing with the climbing.
Yeah,
They got through it.
definitely.
So
Well,
that's cool. Yeah,
I
this is
know I
okay.
know that, like, I don't know if you saw it or not, but like I saw a bunch of announcements for pre-orders because they're doing a special Zelda Tears of the Kingdom edition Switch 2 and controller also.
Yeah, they're doing a controller and a Switch. I guess pre-orders
Yeah.
already went up for that Switch, and it like
Dude, probably sold out. I wouldn't doubt it. It was pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, and it was an OLED too, so it wasn't just
Mhm.
the old model. Although they did a Pokemon one that actually our buddy from work actually has that Pokemon one. I saw it today. It's pretty sick.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. Um, but I don't know. I'll have to go back and actually watch that trailer a little bit more. But yeah, the trailer's up there. You can go look it up. Um, Interesting, to see them add that. Next one comes from IGN, and it's Microsoft puts an end to the $1 Xbox Game Pass Ultimate trial. If you don't know, you can subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate for $1 for the trial, and they're getting ready to end that. And the standard subscription looks like is going to be $14.99 a month, or $9.99 a month for PC. Is that what it says? Let's see. Standard month subscription $49 a month. Xbox Ultimate one. Yeah,
I don't know about you, but I usually just pay for mine all at one time for the whole year.
for the whole year. Yeah. That is.
Wait,
Oh, Brandon keeps cutting out. Oh, there he is. Yeah, I don't. That doesn't surprise me. I mean, that's like a really low like bar to entry. I mean, so maybe it probably costs them more money to give away that for $1 than you know.
yeah. But they're
Um,
probably, this is my thing, probably ending it because people are making an account for the free trial for $1. And then when the free trial ends up, they just make another one for $1.
yep, probably that would be my guess too. So not really that big deal. It was something I saw. It's been a light news week, y'all. Aside from the E3 thing, that was like the biggest thing, and then everything else has been kind of. This one we were kind of talking about. Oh, I forgot to pull that one up. But looks like the U.S. this comes from Video Games Chronicle. U.S. members of Congress accuse Sony of blatant anti-competitive conduct in Japan. This kind of made my eyes roll because it's like you don't care when there's like I do understand that Sony does have a very large market share in Japan clearly, but like you don't stop that from happening in our own country, but the second like another country does it, like you're just I don't know. What do you think?
Exactly. My sentiment exactly. We were talking about this earlier. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, I took one look at that and I rolled my eyes because it's silly. It's silly. Like, whatever. It is what it is. Like, mind your own business, I guess.
Well, not only that, it just seems like it's just so hypocritical.
Hypocritical. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing on top of it. Like, um, next one, Dolphin, which is a GameCube and Wii emulator, might be coming to Steam. It's or is coming to Steam. This comes from Engadget. Um, it's if you don't know that emulation is technically legal, but downloading ROMs isn't. So you can emulate a game if you can prove that you have it. But like using ROMs is what's legal. So they're just going to be giving you the emulator on Steam. To be clear. So
Right.
but I mean there's no other place that is really doing anything to emulate GameCube and Wii games. So I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I think it's cool for sure because anytime that you can make it so people can play those older games, I think is
Hey, we're back, everybody. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. That's gonna be an interesting little thing to try to put a time code in for. But anyway, what were we talking about? We were talking about the Dolphin emulator going on to
Yeah.
GameCube. And then I think we kind of both cut out like as soon as you started talking. So why don't we just start there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool, man. Honestly, um, I still have my Super Nintendo plugged in on the TV behind me, so anytime you can play those older games, like I'm all for that. That's cool.
Yeah. And like I said, you can't really. What I was thinking too is like you could play it on the Steam Deck now, technically. Because if it's going to Steam, you could technically use it on a Steam Deck, and take it handheld that way. So that would be pretty cool. Anyway, apologies everybody for that
All right.
technical difficulty.
Sorry about that.
This is kind of a smaller one and kind of another one for my buddy at work here. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora details have leaked online. This comes from Insider Gaming. It looks like just some screenshots have kind of come out, like possible leak screenshots. I don't really have any like reverence for the Avatar series. This is not talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. We're talking about the blue people. Yeah, I don't know. What do you have any sort of like love for that series or anything like that?
Not really. I mean, I've seen both the movies now and I like them. I enjoy them, but like, I mean, that's about it. It's not like something, it's not like Lord of the Rings, right? Where like I will watch that multiple times, you know?
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't even know what kind of game you would do for an Avatar game. Like, is it like a first person shooter? Is it like no, it's not a first person shooter. I was joking. But like what is it? Like what exactly is an Avatar game in 2023? Yeah, like who knows? Next story. And this one I threw in for you, Brandon. This comes from Video Game Charts or VGCharts.com. Resident Evil 4 Remake debuts in first on the Steam charts.
No surprise.
So it's literally number one, and I guess last week it was like number two. So I don't know. You can kind of speak to that. With everything that you've seen, what do you think
I
about
am
like
not surprised. Not at all. It's a 10 of 10. Honestly, I saw somebody, I think it was like on day 2 or day 3 was already like game of the year contender. And I generally have to agree with them. Like it's really good. So I am not that surprised that it's doing that well because it's a really beloved game, not just in the horror genre, but in general. You know what I mean?
Well, especially with like how good, at least from what I saw, how good it looks on PS5. Imagining how good it looks on PC is like insane.
Yeah.
With how good it looks. So I can only imagine. And it's a lot of people's like first Resident Evil that they're kind of getting into, dipping their toes into. So that's cool that like that's it's bringing a lot of people, kind of like when the RE2 remake kind of came on the scene. A lot of people kind of came back into the fold and it also brought in a lot of new people.
Oh yeah.
And you're seeing that again with this one. Because I don't think 3 did that as much.
No, I don't think it gets the credit it deserves, but yeah, I feel like generally it bounced off its audience a little bit worse than the other games did.
Well, and it's a different team too. The RE2 remake team did the RE4 remake, but did not do the RE3 remake. So it's a different team. So you could argue that, but doesn't surprise me.
Not at all.
This one next story comes from The Verge. Atari is acquiring Night Dive Studios, which if you don't know Night Dive Studios, they're a retro game studio. They were behind Quake, Doom 64, and they were also working on the System Shock remake that just got delayed.
And so Atari grabbed them, correct?
Yeah. Which is kind of weird because Atari hasn't done anything in the video game space for a while. They were kickstarting a hotel, an Atari hotel for a little bit, and that failed. They were selling a hat with built-in speakers for a while. That failed. Uh, they were doing like a lot of like random things. But I guess somebody at Atari still cares about video games.
Yeah.
I, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm with you. At least somebody there gives a crap, so good for them.
Yeah. And it's cool for Night Dive because now you just got a steady stream of money. Well, depending on how much money Atari has nowadays, you got somewhat a steady stream of some sort of money coming in, or somebody investing in your stuff. So, next one comes from Video Games Chronicle, but was kind of everywhere. Sony was Metacritic's highest rated publisher in 2022. They were at an average of, I think, let's see, 75% or higher. Were a lot of their titles, and a lot of them, a good chunk of them were actually scoring 90s or higher. And doesn't surprise me because if you look, let's see, if you look at the whole overall total, the average was 85.6 for Sony, Paradox was 81.6, Blizzard was 76.5, Focus was 80, Take-Two was 78.9, and this is looking at publishers. Capcom 78.6. And last year Sony was also the second best publisher on Metacritic. Now, if you don't know what Metacritic is, it compiles like all the scores and then gives you like a general score, like that all the different sites are giving. So the fact that Sony was the highest in 2022, I don't know. What do you think of that?
Hail to the king, babe.
Oh God.
No. No, I mean, honestly, well deserved. I mean, it's Sony, dude. They, like we've been saying, like Xbox, where are you at? Like, where are your exclusives and stuff? Sony's continuously putting out good product after good product, man. I'm not surprised. But I mean, we've seen how it goes. We've been through the console wars before. One year Sony will be really good, next year Xbox will be really good, or whatever. You know what I mean? That's typically how it works.
Well, also I think Sony just had a good year. I mean, they had like as far as releases, like let's see, last year if you look at God of War came out, that was a big one for them. They re-released Last of Us Part 1. I'm probably forgetting of a lot more than that. But it seems like Horizon came out, I believe, last year, like the sequel to Horizon. So they had like a lot of stuff on the first party docket last year. So it doesn't surprise me that they were able to like pad their resume a little bit this year, and get, a decent amount of scoring, especially when kind of like we talk about, everybody else kind of isn't putting as much out. Next story comes from Polygon. Looks like Fortnite's Unreal Engine editor just came out. They, as you know, that Epic Games is the one that publishes Fortnite. They are also the creators of Unreal Engine, and they just rolled out basically an editor so you can start creating your own things in Fortnite. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I mean, cool if you like Fortnite, I guess. I mean, you know me, I'm not a big Fortnite, kind of bounces off of me, but that's kind of cool that they're going to give you the option to kind of play around and make your own stuff. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, well, the way I look at it too is like Roblox is really popular, and that's actually what this Polygon article kind of talks about. Is the title of the article is actually Fortnite's Unreal Editor lets it compete with Roblox. And like Roblox, it's just a lot of like people cutting their teeth and like creating their own games and stuff like that. And this allows,
my kids love Roblox.
Right. Cool. And this kind of allows you to Epic, who publishes Fortnite, to put in tools to allow people to purchase, so if they want to start making their own things and using the tools in Fortnite, they can kind of do that. I think it's a kind of a smart play.
I do too, definitely.
Because then it also
that's a big cater to that kind of crowd. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, there are people who paid tons of money
and
just
think
to
about it too. Like
do that.
there have been people that have gotten that have gotten jobs by saying like, hey, I've made such and such game on Roblox, and they've gotten a job at other places because they're like, oh, we know how big that game is in Roblox.
Oh yeah.
So imagine if you could go up to somebody and be like, hey, I created this super super popular mod for one of the most popular fucking games in the world, and it blew up. Like, that is
Right.
something that you can now go to anybody and be like, that's what I have to offer, and that could land you a job. Also, that allows Epic to even like keep tabs and be like, oh, who's making good stuff so we can hire them.
Right.
So, um, cool. I can also see it being broken as hell too, and people making really messed up stuff.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's gonna go.
There
It's gonna go the other
exists.
way too. Um, um, next story. Going along with everything else. We can't get through one podcast without a layoff story. You know that.
Oh, of course.
This comes from Kotaku. Originally, I had 700, but according to this Kotaku article, EA lays off almost 800 people
Jeez.
weeks after posting huge profits. $7 billion in revenue, in net revenue.
That is nuts. That is really nuts. That's a lot of people.
Yeah. That it a- after posting record profits, they're laying off more people. You can't think of another way to save money. You, I why?
You know what it is? This is literally what it is. I'm gonna tell you. I learned this. It's a secret, but not really. What they do is, since it's year end, they fire a bunch of people to make their numbers look really good. And then, like, after a month or two, they'll start rehiring people again because
Well,
they need those people.
and well, the other thing too is that a lot of companies right now are using like the whole pandemic excuse. We hired too many people during the pandemic, and now we can't pay them. That's everybody's been saying that. Every company's been coming out and saying or using that tagline as an excuse, so they can just kind of sit on that. But 800, close to 800 people, like,
Yeah, that's a chunk, man.
that's huge. Yeah, I, mm, I don't know. I don't know. Just it, and it's always after they talk about record-breaking profits too. Like, oh, we had a great fucking year, and you're fired.
Yeah. By the way, clean out your desk as I'm getting into my freaking Lamborghini, laughing all the way to the bank. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Second to last story here. This can be a shorter podcast tonight for y'all here, under an hour. Cyberpunk is getting path tracing. This comes from The Verge, which and I know you're laughing at this, but this is potentially cool because path tracing is basically like, think of it as like super advanced ray tracing, and only a few games have it so far. So it just makes the lighting look a lot more realistic and everything like that. So it's super nerdy. I understand that, but it doesn't mean that I would go out and buy Cyberpunk. I will be
I was
clear.
about to say, so you said that you're going to go get Cyberpunk again?
No. However, I would like to get, because I don't have a good enough graphics card to run this anyway. But if I had a good enough graphics card or access to a rig, I would just want to fire up Cyberpunk and like crank all that stuff to like maximum and be like, all right, I want to see what this looks like.
Dude, a friend of mine did. He used to send me pictures of it from his computer, like screenshots, and it was pretty pretty crispy, I'm not going to lie.
Well, yeah, and I'm saying like with this, even taking that farther, I'm a sucker for like realistic lighting and realistic reflections and
Mhm.
all that stuff. So like anytime like they announce something like that, I'm like, oh. And this was shown off at GDC just recently. Um, if you don't know what that is, Game Developers Conference. Just kind of like, cause that's where like a lot of like tech demos really get shown off now, like hardware. So you get like more of like the graphics card announcements and like new capabilities kind of announced at those places. But yeah, it's just something that's I'm trying to see. Yeah, it's only the 40 series cards that can do it. So I don't even have a 40 series card. I have a 30. I have a low end 30 series card because it's like a 3050. But yeah, I don't. I'm just curious. It looks like the only games that have it right now are Minecraft, Portal, and Quake 2. That's it. Those are the only games that actually support it right now. Quake 2,
Interesting.
man, what a game! Y'all remember Quake 2? I remember Quake 2.
Just I remember old school dude on the freaking computer, man, with a keyboard.
Yeah. And then the last story, super small story here. We kind of talked about this, but it is official. The Wii U and 3DS eShop shut down last week. So I, you know what bums
We
me out
need
about it the
to
most
what?
is that Nintendo 3DS eShop theme music is gone. I loved all the chill music. Like the Nintendo Switch doesn't have any music in their eShop. They don't have the chill Nintendo vibes music that they did in the 3DS one, and that bums me out. Can I pay for an extra download for the 3DS music in my Switch?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have a whole lot of like customizable options. I don't like that.
No, they really don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Like I mean, for example, in the stark contrast, right, the PS5, there's not a whole lot of customizing in there, but it's cool because as you're flipping through your games, each game has its own custom background for it. You know what I mean? Plays its own theme music or whatever. That's freaking awesome. I think that is a slam dunk. So yeah, Nintendo, get on your shit for real.
Yeah, it makes me sad. It just makes me sad. Sometimes I would fall asleep to that eShop music, man. Like, oh, it was so chill. But it just sucks too to see like all the games now that like you're just not gonna be able to play anymore. You're not gonna be able to get anymore. They're just poof, gone, just like that.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and I don't like
Funeral
it.
pyre.
Yeah, like
You gotta put the funeral pyre.
yeah, I don't like it. There's got to be a better system than this.
But yeah. I mean, look, Super Nintendo stuff, we still got ways to play that, and you're just gonna yeah.
Yep.
Bye.
Yeah.
I don't want to play you anymore.
Yeah. No kidding. But yeah, that's kind of a short one. We're 45 minutes in. Can we kill 15 minutes to make it an even hour?
Well, I got something for you. I didn't mention this earlier, but this one's for you. You know what I saw that I'm gonna stream eventually?
What's up? Let's see.
They have a sequel to Plague Story now.
Oh yeah.
I'm about to play that.
Plague Tale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of the first games I got when I got my PS5, and it was actually really good. I really liked it.
Plague Tale's Innocence. The new one is Plague Tale Requiem. Came out the end of
something
last year.
like that. Yeah, I didn't know that, so like I'm definitely gonna pick that up and check that out for sure.
Nice. I guess we can go now. Now that we're at the end of the podcast, and people can stop listening if they want to. I can go on my wrestling rant now. And go at the end of it. So, WrestleMania is tonight and tomorrow. Because if you've been living under a rock, or just stop paying attention to wrestling, WrestleMania is now 2 nights now. It's Saturday and Sunday. So I don't know what the main event is tonight. I haven't been paying attention. I'm probably going to go on Twitter after this and start scrolling because it just started like an hour or two ago, night one. Let's see. Quick rundown of the matches. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio in a one-on-one match. I hope that they just let Dominic Mysterio win because Rey got inducted to the Hall of Fame last night. He's kind of passing the torch, and it would make so much sense from a business standpoint to put Dominic Mysterio over because Dominic Mysterio is young and is going to be with the company a lot longer than Rey is now.
Yeah.
So I would say Dominic needs to be, as much as like people hate Dominic, which makes him great. Go ahead and let Or if this is truly Ray's last match, I could see Ray winning. But and here this the great thing is Dominic's a heel right now, so you don't even have to have him win cleanly. Have him cheat to win, and then be like, oh well, he technically cheated in one, but still, have him do that. Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins. Oh, fucking Logan Paul. Yes, the YouTuber Logan Paul.
Is
I hope.
fighting Seth Rollins.
Yeah. Well, here's the
Oh
thing,
my
bro.
lord.
Here's the thing, bro. As much as I hate Logan Paul, he's fucking good. He's a natural. He's good in the ring. He's good on the mic. He's good at being a shitbag heel. And the whole reason this feud between him and Seth Rollins started is because Seth Rollins was going on Twitter saying, like, I don't like guests in my industry trying to, like, steal spotlight of people that have been here, giving their whole lives to it. And he was basically, like, talking about Logan Paul, kind of coming in and, oh, I'm already a famous guy that just decided I wanted to do WWE one day, so I just started doing it.
Yeah.
So, which Seth Rollins has a point. So, I mean, Seth Rollins is a super good wrestler. Logan Paul, unfortunately, I hate to say it, is also a really good wrestler. So, I expect that to be a good match. I would hope that Seth Rollins would win, but I think because they're trying to build Logan Paul as this new star, business wise, I would see them, because it's WWE letting Logan Paul go over. Let's see what else is a big match. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's title.
That'll be an interesting match as well.
I think it's Rhea's time. As much as I love Charlotte Flair is a 14-time women's champion. Rhea Ripley has only been the NXT Women's Champion, I believe. I don't think she's had any of the other belts. But it's Rhea's time. It's time to let Rhea take it. That would make the most sense to me. And then the other women, and that's for the SmackDown's Women's title. The Raw Women's Championship is Bianca Belair versus Asuka. Asuka bringing back the murder clown gimmick from Japan, so I think it's time to put the belt on Asuka again. I love Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair has been a killer freaking champion. But I think it's time for a lot of the belts to change. Honestly, you'll probably notice that theme running down this. Let's see what else. John Cena versus Austin Theory for the United States title. John Cena, this is like the first match he's done in over a year. So, or not over a year, but he doesn't do much anymore. So always cool to see him coming back. If they were smart, they would let Austin Theory beat John Cena, because again, that's kind of what you do when you become an older wrestler. Is it's your way of giving back, because does anybody know who Austin Theory is outside of wrestling? No. Brandon, you probably just looked at me like, who the fuck is Austin Theory?
I don't even know who that is.
But if
I'll be honest with you.
But if Austin Theory can come out on Monday Night Raw and be like, I beat John Cena at WrestleMania, now that raises his stock.
Yeah.
Start paying attention, versus John Cena just getting another win on some guy,
another dub,
who it's not going to raise John Cena's stock. John Cena's stock, he's already John Cena. So you'll notice that, I mean, a lot, as I look at it from a business standpoint of, like, this is how you would do it. Let's see. I don't think there's too many other. There's the big tag team match, the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. This is kind of the storyline that they've been building for like a few years. Is the bloodline? We'll lump these two matches in together because this is another match. The Usos have the unified tag team title belts. They have the Raw tag titles and the SmackDown tag titles. And I think it's time for. I would either say Kevin and Sami Owens and Sami Zayn beat the Usos, or if they don't beat the Usos, then the next match, which is Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, Cody would have to beat Roman Reigns. Cody versus Roman. This is the big one. This is the whole. This is why I lumped these two matches together, because you got Roman, the Bloodline, his two cousins, the Usos. the Usos' younger brother, who is now kind of like the big like enforcer of the group. So it's like a whole family run thing. They've been running roughshod over WWE for Roman Reigns now going on 600 days as champion, 700 days as champion. There hasn't been a championship reign like that done since like the Hogan days. I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
He has now been in the main event of 3 WrestleManias in a row as champion, and he's like the first one to do that where he's been champion for 3 straight WrestleManias. So going into this one, there's a lot at stake, but they've been kind of building towards the story of like there's cracks in the armor, the bloodline's finally starting to crumble a little bit. And I think with the return of Cody Rhodes, who is, as they say in the wrestling business, white hot right now as a baby face. Red hot if you're a heel, white hot if you're a baby face. He is white hot. He could punch your mother in the face and people would still cheer him. Like that's how much the crowd loves him right now. And Roman has beat everybody else in WWE that who's left than Cody, who hasn't faced him yet. And
yeah, definitely.
It would come full circle because that's the one belt that Dusty Rhodes could never get was the WWE title. He had the NWA World title, WCW World title, multiple different world titles everywhere else, but he could never get that one. Could never get the WWF title. He was in WWF, but he got a shot, but he was never able to grab it. Perfect storybook ending if his son were to just finally, and Cody has made bones about, because Roman has both belts too, because there's we've talked about how stupid it is how there's a world title on each show. But he's got the world heavyweight title and the universal title. Oh, universal title, stupid name. But there's rumor that Cody Rhodes wants to bring back the old school winged eagle belt if he wins the belt. Which I think that would be cool because I always liked the winged. I liked the winged eagle belt and I liked the big eagle belt. Those were my favorite WWF belts from back in the day. And that would have been the one that Dusty would have won. Would have been the winged eagle one. That's the one that you see Bret Hart with a lot. That version of the belt.
Okay.
Yeah. But that would have been the one that Dusty would have won back in the day. So I think it would be cool if he brought that back on a white strap. If they did it on a white strap, oh my God, that would be fucking amazing.
Fire!
I'm a sucker for white strap belts. But yeah. All right, 54 minutes. So that's a podcast. Thank you for indulging me. Especially because Brandon really doesn't know much about wrestling except for the old days.
Yep, the old days. I still appreciate it though for what it is.
Yeah. You appreciate it. Yeah, we always share stuff with like John on Twitter and stuff. But yeah. So what are you going to be getting into this week? Do you think?
I'd like to finish Resident Evil. Definitely probably at some point do a Hollow Knight stream just because I've been talking about it for a while. I talk about that game all the time, so I figure it's my turn to actually share it with everybody because it is truly it's a masterpiece as far as indie games go. Well, games in general. The fact that it comes from saying indie's an understatement. They're small. Team Cherry is a super small company, so yeah, it's great. So that's my plan. Obviously Easter tomorrow, so yeah.
I'm gonna try to play more like a Dragon Ishin and more season, and I'm not gonna promise it this time, but I would like to get a stream in. We'll see. Maybe not this week because of Easter and the holiday. I really only have time to stream as like right now and then for the podcast, so I'll keep you all posted though. Maybe I'll be a little bit more active on the Twitter, on the Black Box Twitter about like my thoughts on games and stuff like that. But we're playing more of that. Hopefully more Strangers of Paradise. And if I can get a stream in, yeah. But I think next week we'll probably do another podcast like this on Saturday, just to get it in because of the Easter holiday here in the States.
Yep.
But yeah, you can follow us on Twitter and on YouTube at _BlackBoxSignal, and follow us on Twitch at /BlackBoxSignal. Brandon, where can they find you?
They can find me at Twitter at EnrageMe. I'm usually pretty active on there, especially with when I'm going live and things like that. And then you can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/enrageme.
And you can find me on Twitter at chasing_chase and on Twitch at chasingchasetv. And as always, stay safe, comrades.